Yes, I'm saying it. Price per square foot means nothing. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Karin Carr and I am with the Georgia Coast Homes team here in Savannah, Georgia. And yes, I am putting my foot down, going on record and saying that price per square foot has no bearing on the value of a property. Now, why do I say that? Well, when I first got my real estate license, I had to take lots of continuing education classes. It was during the crash back in 2007. Everybody was going into foreclosure, having to do short sales. I took a lot of advanced education on how to come up with a property value. Sadly, because people were losing their houses to the bank. And if the bank was going to turn around and sell it, they wanted to know what the property was truly worth on the open market. What was the fair market value? Not once did they ever want to know the price per square foot. Now, let's use a typical example. If there are a bunch of houses in the neighborhood and they have exactly the same floor plan. So let's say that you're in a community where the builder came in. He said, we have these 6 floor plans. Which one do you want? You pick one of those floor plans and it's very similar to all of your neighbors' homes. The only things that were very different were maybe the colors that they chose. But what if one puts laminate on the kitchen counters and one puts in granite? What if one adds on this amazing screened in back porch that's 20 by 20 feet and it has a beautiful tile floor, it's screened in, it's got a deck on the outside, it's got a fence around the backyard, it has a shed, it has, 2 acres of land, and the rest of your neighbors only have a patio with no covering. They don't have a fence, they don't have a shed, and they're on a 1/4 of an acre. Are you going to tell me that the price per square foot is exactly the same? Of course it's not. It's not the same because one house had many, many more upgrades. It had many more features. It had a lot of outdoor living space, which is not included in the square footage of the house. So realtors, especially when you go on a listing presentation and you're saying your house is worth this much because it's the price per square foot, I'm calling you out and I'm saying that that's kind of the lazy way to come up with a value. You really can't do it that way. What we need to do in order to determine the cost of a house, the value of a house. Now, granted, everyone's opinion is just that, it's an opinion. Even if you have an appraisal done on your house, it is still one person's opinion. So take it with a grain of salt. But if we have several sold comps in your neighborhood that were all 4-bedroom homes and they were between 2,200 and 2,400 square feet, we can look at them and get a price range. Then we can make adjustments. Did one have a 3-car garage and one had a 2-car garage? The garage is not counted as part of your living space, so therefore it will not be counted in the square footage. Again, wouldn't you pay extra for a 3-car garage? I know I would. I would kill for a 3-car garage right now. So we have to then say, all right, other homes that recently sold that had a 3-car garage versus the ones that had a 2-car garage, how much extra were the buyers willing to pay in order to get that 3rd bay in the garage? And then you make your adjustments accordingly. So there's a lot that goes into appraising a property. There is a lot of, it's part art and part science, and it is not something that you bang out in 10 minutes. Like, you can say, I'm very, very familiar with this neighborhood. I know all of the properties that have sold, and I can tell you that your house is overpriced. But if you want to sit down and do an actual market analysis and say, we're thinking of selling our home, what should we put it on the market for? Price per square foot is not the way to go. And I am saying that to you whether you are a buyer or you are a potential seller. If you are a buyer saying, I really love this house, I want to make an offer, we're not going to come up with the asking price, the offer price, by price per square foot. And if you're thinking of selling your home, you are really doing yourself a disservice to do that. So let me give you a perfect example. One of the very first houses that I listed after I moved to the Savannah area, I went to their house to give them a listing presentation. And I said, I think your house is worth about $200,000. We should probably list it for about 205. That way, if we get an offer slightly below, we have a little bit of room to negotiate. And he said every other agent has come to me and said that due to the price per square foot, we would never get more than $175,000. So I immediately launched into my diatribe about why price per square foot means nothing. We listed the house for 2049. We got multiple offers. We sold it for 200 after about 6 days. So if he had gone with the price per square foot agents, he would have lost $25,000. So do not use price per square foot when it comes to coming up with a value for your house. You are doing yourself a disservice. It is the lazy way to come up with a value. And if your agent is just not willing to do that market analysis now in order to find an accurate value, how's that going to work out with you when the house actually goes to sell? So if you are thinking about selling your home, please promise me that you will not go with price per square foot in order to calculate the selling price. Are you thinking about fixing the house up? I recently did a video called Home Improvements that actually add value to your house, which is right here. So you should watch this one next if you're thinking about what are the things that we need to do in order to increase the property's value.